Hello everyone. The purpose of this video is to walk you through the requirements for the classroom observation paper. So your first one is due this week. There will be 4 more due throughout the semester, and you can check in the course calendar on your syllabus or the separate file of the course calendar listed under course resources to note when those are due. But the first one is due this week. So I wanted to kind of walk you through what some of the requirements are and help you get the most amount of points that you can for this assignment and the future assignments, because total they're worth 75 points, which is a significant chunk of your grade. So the video that you'll be watching this week, which is indicated on your syllabus on page 3, is differentiated instruction practice video, a focus on inclusion, and this video is 51 minutes in duration. So first, to find the video, please reference the step-by-step task analysis that is listed on page 3 by first, of course, going to the IUP Library webpage. You'll click on Library Databases. You'll search Films on Demand, so you can just click the little F at the top where they have all of the letters of the alphabet to get there more quickly. Select the Films on Demand. On the search bar, you'll type in the title of the video, which is Differentiated Instruction Practice Video, Focus on Inclusion, and then it'll come right up. So just double check, make sure the title exactly matches, and it is 51 minutes in duration, so you're definitely watching the right video. Then watch that video, and you'll then write a 1 to 2 page reflection on the video. But there are very specific requirements for what has to be included in that reflection. So in the past, I've gotten some really awesome papers where people reflect on the video content really well and they make some awesome connections, but a lot of the points in the rubric haven't been included. So unfortunately, some really great papers in the past have gotten some really poor grades just because they didn't match up with the criteria in the rubric. And this rubric is actually created by the Department of Education, or these requirements come down from them. So that's why there are very specific things we're looking for this assignment. So if you look on Appendix A in the syllabus, which is on page 11, you'll see that there is the rubric for the classroom observation paper. So there's 2 primary sections. One section of the criteria is for the content of the paper. The next section of criteria is regarding the mechanics of the paper. So you earn a point, you'll see, just by including your name, the date of the observation, and the name of the video. So make sure you include all of that information. Then there are specific requirements such as to describe how the lesson began, indicate whether objectives were stated, written, or understood, describes what the teacher did, describes how the teacher ended the lesson, and you can read on to see the rest of the criteria. So I will caution you that sometimes the criteria that are listed in the rubric are not outwardly observable in the videos. So in my opinion, I think that this rubric would fit really well if you had an hour-long observation of an actual classroom lesson, but you'll find that these videos sometimes shift between different lessons, so you're not observing maybe one lesson, or they're narrated by someone walking you through different concepts, which are great and really important, but it does present a little bit of a challenge for when you're writing the reflection paper. So my recommendation to you to address that problem and get the most amount of points possible on this paper is to just explicitly write if you were not able to observe something. So for example, if you're watching this week's video and you find that you weren't able to observe how a lesson began, there was no beginning of a classroom lesson in this video. I'm not saying that's the case, but we'll just use that for an example. What you could do in your paper is just simply write a statement that says, the beginning of a lesson was not observed in this video. So when those kinds of things happen and you're unable to view certain criteria, you can kind of supplement your paper a little more by writing more about some other kinds of criteria on the paper. So if you were unable to observe some things in the video, but let's say you are able to talk about observations that have a significant impact on your future teaching or your future career, if you're in another career field, which is fantastic too. You'll just talk a little bit more about that kind of thing. So please make sure you at least mention all of the criteria there, whether you're able to observe them or not. And then, of course, please be mindful of the mechanics of your paper such that it is organized. Please break your paper into paragraphs. I don't want to read 2 pages of one paragraph. That's just really, really hard to get through sometimes. So just make sure you use those good writing practices that you all demonstrated in your week 1 discussion board. I have no doubts that these papers will be just as great. And lastly, as I mentioned in the introductory video in week 1 where we reviewed the syllabus, you will be expected to write an APA style format. So for these assignments, at minimum, I would just like you to please use Times New Roman 12-point font and double space your paper. So don't worry about including a reference page, since I know where you're getting the video for this assignment. You don't need one. Don't worry about a title page, but for those formalities, I would like you to fulfill APA in that regard. So Times New Roman, 12-point font, double spaced. And then just be mindful of all the criteria on the rubric. Reach out to me, please, if you have any questions about this or if you're having any trouble finding the video. I recommend that you try to search for the video early on in the week, so if you're having any trouble accessing it, we can address that early on in the week. So, all right, I think that pretty much covers it. Good luck, and I'm really looking forward to reading all your papers and seeing how you connect all of this material to your specific professional goals in the future.